Hi, thank you for taking some time to develop your soft skills further. In this short tutorial, you'll learn more about listening to yourself and others. And more importantly, how to respond, how to convey your thoughts and feelings in the most mutually beneficial way for yourself and the team. There is no I in team. You've all heard this, right? Well, guess what? There is. Of course there is. It's essential how you feel as an individual, for yourself and everyone. 3 elements are at the heart of how you feel and behave. Your IQ, you know how smart you are. Your EQ, or how you relate to others. And your PQ, your self-awareness, how you feel. To achieve total bliss, so to speak, these 3 have to be in perfect balance, which is easier said than done on any given day. But some situations can create more disturbance in this equilibrium. Like, for instance, when Roche Diagnostics moved from Vilvoorde to these new offices. Such a big change can potentially perturb the balance, especially the delicate one between how you experience such a move on a personal level and how you connect with your colleagues. Some love it, and some hate it, crudely put. And that's okay, as long as you don't stay entrenched in your views, as you will see. Let's take a closer look at 2 random and fictitious colleagues and how they are experiencing this move to the greenhouse. For him, it's all bad. He keeps mumbling grumpily about how much more time he has to spend in traffic, about the noise in the office. He even preferred eating a crappy sandwich from the service station for Pete's sake. Whereas she seems to thrive under these new circumstances. She raves about all the time for her family and exercise she gains by taking the train, loves the wholesome and healthy lunches, and so on. So, safe to say, they have a different view of this new situation. Is this a problem? No, it's not. Having different views, even having opposite opinions about something, is okay. It's not about being right or wrong, but there most definitely is the right way to address such polarities. To solve them, to turn this into a win-win situation, you truly have to understand those seemingly polarized points of view. It probably won't surprise you that the first step in understanding how someone feels about something is to talk about it. Make some time in your schedule, find a quiet place where you can talk in peace. Let your colleague share his grievances, let him vent what makes him unhappy. And do the same, share how you experience this move and all the positive effects it has on your life. Without prejudice, without trying to convince, without minimizing one thing or dismissing another. Just listen to each other and share your points of view. Compare notes, so to speak. Once your colleague has had the chance to talk about the things he feels unhappy about, he feels listened to and understood. And he knows that if something matters to him, it matters, period. But this still doesn't change the way he feels. How can you make him see things differently and in a more positive way? As women and men of science, you'll be happy to know that there is a scientific formula to achieve this, an algorithm called judgment-free feedback. By following a few simple rules of conversation, a way of putting things, you can achieve some pretty impressive results. The key to judgment-free feedback is not to judge what the person feels and says, but instead convey how this makes you feel. You let the other person into your point of view and offer him or her new ways of looking at things. You don't shut doors, you open new ones. So, instead of saying that fussing about a sandwich is silly or rolling your eyes when he rants about another hour stuck in traffic, you do this. You say that seeing him being so annoyed makes you feel sad and even distracts you from doing your work. But you're convinced he can look at it another way, because all you want is to have a happy and energized coworker. You see what you did there? Of course it takes 2 to tango. For this judgment-free feedback to work, the one receiving the feedback has to put in his 2 cents too. Basically, besides listening to each other, you also have to listen to yourself and to analyze how you feel and what you think, and consequently do so. Self-reflection is essential, because in a sense, we can become creatures of habit, and not all of those are good. How we see ourselves and the world around us, the workplace in this case, determines how we act at work and with our colleagues. A grumpy man, from our example, is bound to stay stuck in an almost endless loop of negative feelings about himself and negative influence and energy on his surroundings. If he keeps focusing on the bad stuff, he will always react the same if he stays entrenched in his views. The excellent news is that he can easily break this cycle. By taking some time to ponder, especially since he now has unique ways of looking at the new situation, he can act more positively, seeing silver linings, acknowledging that some things are better now. Being in a more positive mindset and looking at things from a broader perspective makes him feel better, reflecting on how he relates to his colleague. And being stuck in traffic certainly is a thing from the past. Remember how we talked about that delicate balance between EQ and PQ? Like you just saw, it is fundamental to listen to yourself and others. Listening to others and giving them judgment-free feedback is essential for the relations between each other. Listening to yourself, analyzing how you feel, and acting accordingly too. For yourself, but also for the team. Both are like communicating vessels. When one is getting full, the other is too. And then you are well on your way to achieve total bliss.